that have villagers that worked for me who have never seen a computer before. And within a month, they were operating, 60, 70, 80-year-old villagers, operating computers, making the morning meeting slides, shooting, filming their own videos, uploading them themselves, and then presenting them at a morning meeting. Time and time again, business owners will approach me and they'll say, Hugh, I know lean is the way, but my guys just won't see it. I'm making glacial pace. I've been at this for 6 months, or I've been at this for a year. I've been at this for 2 years. Well, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is it's your fault. The good news is it was my fault and I was able to fix it. And I'm gonna share how I was able to do that in this video. So there's this common theme in lean where you're starting slow and you're going up, 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 up. And then all of a sudden, you start slow, right? And then you teach lean, and then it comes to a plateau pretty dang quickly. You've cleaned all the things that need to be cleaned, but then you can't make 2-second lean or lean actually stick. And you're looking at these companies like Fast Cap and Seating Matters and In the Ditch. You're thinking, how do they do that? How do they get the last bit of buy-in? We understand it's the way. Hugh, I know it's the way. Paul, I know it's the way. How do you do it, right? So you hit that plateau and then it just stays stagnant there, and then lean might go stale. You have some excitements and then pretty quickly people don't like it. And it's how do you get out of that? Because 99% of the time people get there and they quit and they die. And so what happens is after you have to train through that. Once you train through it, you'll start to pick up. Once you're on the second curve, it basically goes infinitely up. Your company becomes on the same level of a Seating Matters, of a Fast Cap. They're just many years advanced ahead of you, but their knowledge level is about the same once you can get there, once you get that cultural level to take. So what's the difference there? Let me ask you a question. Yeah, you watching this right now. How did you learn about lean? Why do you know about one-piece flow? How do you know about Kanbans? How did that even happen? Because you weren't born with it. In fact, if you go back like 5 years ago, did you even know about it? So how did you get from I don't know about lean to I'm a rabid lean maniac and I just want my team, please have buy-in? How did you get there? How is it that you are aware of these things, but your team is not? You know the answer. You think you know the answer right now. Pause, go comment it down below in the video. Here's the secret. You probably learned about lean from a YouTube video, or you went to visit a lean company. You saw what they were doing. You wanted it for yourself, and you said, I'm going to take this back to my team. I'm going to teach them. I kind of got a morning meeting going. It's only happening once a week. Maybe it's happening all the time. I kind of have 3S time. I don't have buy-in. You're showing videos. You're showing the presentation. Nothing is working. What is going on? I've been at this for 2 years. Well, actually, the secret you've already been exposed to. You just didn't realize what was going on. And so this is what internalized it for me. I went and spent 3 days with Seating Matters after 18 months of relentlessly beating my head against a wall. I had Paul Akers come to me, and Paul said, hey, Hugh, listen, you are doing it right. Understand lean. You've internalized it. What you haven't done is you haven't cloned yourself. You need to make 100 Hughs. Right now, it's like one person trying to push a train. You need 100 people to push that train. Will it get easier? You're damn right it will. So here's what happened. Very similar. I went to Seating Matters. Michael did this for me. Michael from Yellow Tools did this for me, and I'm gonna do it to you. Lean is about developing people. And so for 3 days, I spent the time with him and saw how they did that. And there was one critical component missing. And it was the component that terrified me and probably terrifies you. In fact, I know it does because 2 people in Ireland, not one, 2 different people said, Hugh, you're American, so you can do 2-second lean, but we're Irish and our culture is different. We're not outgoing. Says the 2 people at the 2-second lean conference that's being hosted in Ireland, where one of the greatest 2-second lean companies exists with Irish people. It's just flabbergasts me. Really, what you're saying is I'm making an excuse because I'm scared of having my people come up and teach and train morning meeting. And so this is how we started. The moment I went back, I said, guys, I know I've been teaching morning meeting, leading the meetings for 6 months now. But starting tomorrow, Pat, our plant manager, he's gonna lead morning meeting tomorrow. And then the day after that is gonna be this manager, then that manager. Once all the managers and leadership has cycled through, it's going to the team members and all of the office workers and the janitors. Everyone in your organization needs to teach. Will it be bad? Absolutely. And they're terrified. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna go up and speak. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do that. That'd be terrible. Well, guess what? I gave them no choice. Show up on Monday and you're getting up there, or the door is right there and you can go find a company that will pay you to not do what is requested. This is officially a part of your job. Congratulations. What happened? It was kind of clunky, but interesting. Your job then, as the leader, is to observe the morning meeting framework. Is everybody cycling through, or do you have a manager trying to pass it around so someone doesn't have to go up? What's the content of the morning meeting? Do you have defects constantly happening in the company? If you have defects happening in the company, you can bring that into the morning meeting. Everyone in the company teach that defect. Remember, if you don't push this button first, it causes this defect. The secret was what I call the learning triangle. This is a university who did the study. If you are just listening to morning meeting, then at best, you or a classroom setting or a learning of any kind, at best, you are getting 10 to 15% retention on the material. So in 18 months, I sat there and trained 2-second lean. All of my guys got just the surface level, which was enough for them to say, fine, he wants us to clean in the morning, clean. That's not what lean's about. If you engage, if you ask questions, if I say, whoa, Bill, right there. What did I just say? Hey, how would you apply this? For Bill, instant 30% engagement, where they're possibly gonna retain the information. Cool. So have engaging conversations. Ask questions while you're doing morning meetings. So what if you do it hands-on? Well, hands-on, people are like, oh, I gotta do it to learn. That's true, except for one thing. When you do it, you're only 50 to 70% retention. So you might have to do it multiple times. Now, here's the kicker. If you train it or attempt to teach it, that right there is what's gonna happen. If you train the material, you will retain 90% of the information, which means if you train the wrong material, you're gonna retain it a degree of 90%. So when your company cycles through, they are doing that. And that's exactly how you became so damn good at 2-second lean or lean, because you practice it. You've been shooting the videos to share with your team to try to teach it. You've been standing up there and training people because you wanted it to take hold. You've been doing it, you've been doing it, you've been doing it. And they, from a process defect that you have, they've only retained 10 to 15% if there's no language or cultural barrier. Have them teach and train it. And the way you do that is with the tool called morning meeting. Morning meeting is not a production meeting. It is not a meeting for you guys to talk about the overarching strategy of your company. It is not a meeting to get sidetracked by interdepartmentally specific issues. It is a meeting where you meet and everyone in the company cycles through and they present 2-second lean. Your morning meeting. What you want them to know, they're gonna present. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the secret. That is what separates the companies who have it versus the companies that don't. Are your people cycling through doing the morning meeting? If your answer is Hugh, I have 3S every day and I have morning meeting every day, and yes, all of my people cycle through, comment down below or reach out to me directly, because it's probably a slightly different issue. It's probably the contents of your morning meeting, but by the time companies make it there, they need a little bit of cleanup work and they're away and they're rolling. It doesn't take much to get it once you're there. The toughest part is people getting to that point. So again, that's the super secret. Are your people, are your team members cycling through? I'm gonna bring this back to the 2 people in Ireland, right? One from County Clare and one runs a podcast. You are living in a country that produced one of the greatest companies in the world. I went to China. The CCP trained People's Republic that incentivizes them not to think, that have villagers that worked for me who have never seen a computer before. And within a month, they were operating, 60, 70, 80-year-old villagers, operating computers, making the morning meeting slides, shooting, filming their own videos, uploading them themselves, and then presenting them at a morning meeting. you better bet that, oh, and by the way, there's no there's no WhatsApp in China. There's no videos. There's no 2-second lean in Chinese when I went there. There's no content. I can't pull up and show fast cat videos because YouTube's blocked. I had zero resources to do this. And I did not make an excuse for myself to say, oh, I feel sorry. I can't do this. I said, Paul says to do these things. 2-second lean demands it. Ryan Tierney says, work with your people and develop them. I'm going to make it happen. So we've created all of our own content and uploaded it. If you're interested in having me to come out to help clean your operation up, get you on track, or get 2-second lean completely going, or you want me to speak at your podcast or event, there's content information below. Guys, remember, go out there, fix what bugs you. See you next time.